Earthlings, and welcome to your dose of newsy infotainment. It's Let's Be Treasonable, coming to you from the luxurious studios of Radio Titans in Los Angeles, with your cognitive dissidents on the panel this week. Joining us for the first time, very excited to have her here, Liz Stewart, comedian, mom, concerned citizen. Thanks for being here, Liz.
Oh, thanks for having me, man. Appreciate
Absolutely. Very, very excited. And a frequent panelist, and always a pleasure to have him in the studio. He is a writer, a meme creator extraordinaire, and some may say comedic genius. Josh Greenberg joining us. Well, some may, you're laughing. Some might not say it, there are many. There are a lot who would.
Thank you. Very nice to be here.
I would venture a guess, and no offense to the other panelists, but you are probably the one out of the four in this room who's had more stuff picked up by the Huffington Post.
That's fair.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's a fair assessment. I mean, not that that's like a measure of genius, but
It's
in
certainly
terms
not
of
a measure of money.
Well, yeah, that's how they roll. That's, Ariana needs her houses. And also joining us for the first time, and very excited to have her here, writer, comedian, awesome individual, Klee Wiggins is with us.
Hello.
Hey, Klee. And as always, we are joined not necessarily in person, but through the magic of pre-recorded sound by five-time Emmy nominee Will Durst with this week's Burst of Durst. Hey, Will.
Hey guys, Will Durst here with a few choice words about the demise of the skinny repeal. That's what the Senate finally voted on in their gazillionth attempt to undo Obamacare. The fat repeal was discarded long ago as lacking popular support. Neither did the plump, portly, rotund, or tubby repeal display much appeal amongst conservatives. And nobody ever talked about the pudgy and obese repeals, which were mothballed without ever seeing the light of day. Since the skinny repeal failed, Mitch McConnell reportedly will not consider a scrawny repeal, much less a slender, gaunt, malnourished, emaciated, or anorexic repeal. And surely we can assume the cadaverous repeal is dead on arrival. For the last 7 years, Republicans campaigned on repeal and replace. But in a rare televised 2 a.m. vote, they failed to convince to repeal now and then maybe replace down the line, maybe not, with the emphasis on the not. The most dramatic part was not the final count, 51 nays to 49 yays, but how it was accomplished. Senator John McCain cast the deciding vote, sending the tie-breaking Vice President Mike Pence home to bed. It was way past his bedtime. And now McCain's motivation is being questioned. Is he just being his normal, irascible self, or is he sticking it to the president, or did he leave a publicly paid hospital stay in his home state of Arizona to throw millions of people off their health care so rich people could have more money? He's not talking. President Trump immediately tweeted plans to let Obamacare fail because that makes America great again, having a leader willing to let other people die to prove a point. The shot is, Mitch McConnell might actually have to compromise with Democrats. Yes, his worst nightmare has finally come true. And then tomorrow, locusts. For Let's Be Treasonable, I'm Will Durst.
Thank you very much, Will. And that, I think, Will gives us a great starting point for discussion on today's show. Not to bite the Commodore style, but as we saw with Obamacare repeal this week, the Republicans went once, twice, three times a failure. Did you guys watch? I just happened to be watching TV when they were in session past their bedtimes, as Will said, and failed to pass the repeal, which I thought was great. It was. I don't think I've had that much fun watching TV since November, since the Cubs took the Chicago boy.
I thought you meant November, like the election.
No.
The more happy event.
It was the week before. Yeah, that was the last time I had fun watching TV. Was the week before the election.
Yeah, when the time had the Cubs win and then Trump won. That's where we spun off of our timeline right there.
I feel like this is an alternate timeline.
Yeah. There's an alternate Earth.
All the sci-fi nerds are getting
the Cubs lost and Hillary Clinton's president. There's like Earth 2.
Yeah.
And obviously La La Land really won Best Picture.
So are we on Earth 2 or Earth 3? Or we're not Earth 1 anymore, that's for sure.
I've been bumped off.
No,
But we're not
I
so bad
think
as, like, an
once
Earth
once
4.
the election results came in, Earth definitely did not win, and I know
Yeah,
it's
we're
Earth
Earth
1 the
2, I
number.
think.
It's
Yeah.
definitely number 2 is what's
Like,
going
yeah,
on.
like
half of
people
us
matter.
didn't turn into lizard people, but we did elect a lizard president.
Yeah.
It's-
that was a very, very dramatic. Like, I had never seen a vote that elicited like gasps from
Yeah.
the people voting. That was kind of amazing.
And you just,
I loved McConnell's face
You know,
too. With
yeah,
his arms
I'd-
holding himself.
I-
Take it, McConnell.
no, I loved Bernie Sanders nudging. I forgot who was next to him, but he was just like nudging her, like watch.
Oh,
Like-
but he knew.
I didn't see that.
Yeah,
Did
he
not
did that.
see that.
And like Elizabeth Warren, like getting up out of her seat, like I know what's about to happen.
Did anybody see Mike Pence's face? Because nobody had a camera on him. I just want to see like the single tear, when he realizes that he's not
Women
gonna be
have
able to,
rights.
right? Hurt poor people and women.
Poor, like, because there is no middle class anymore. So
Yeah.
poor Americans have rights. That's the most disturbing thing. But I thought, especially with the third vote for the skinny repeal, as they were. I could be wrong on this, but the way it all went down, and I'm sure if you're listening to this show, you were paying attention, but we're going to review briefly anyway. They had a horrible, horrible bill that the Republican leadership wanted to pass just to get it to the House, to make it look like they were doing something. And Paul Ryan, as Speaker of the House, promised, well, yeah, we know it's a crap bill, so there's no way. And I think that basically the Senate vote to take it down and not let it get to the House was a referendum on how trustworthy Paul Ryan and the House Republicans that, it was basically like saying, no, we know this is a crap bill and you guys are probably going to pass it despite what Ryan is saying, just so you can say you got something
Nobody really
done.
respects Paul Ryan anymore.
Well, nobody should, I mean, that's one of the things that, has infuriated me throughout the campaign and throughout the last, what are we at, 180 days of crisis?
Yeah.
I think we're up to 190 now.
Yeah.
But
Way to go, everybody.
yeah, 190 days of crisis. We are survivors.
And it only feels like 6 years.
It's
So.
that's one of the frightening things when you look at all the scandals, and we'll talk about the turnover in the White House in just a minute. But
They
that
serve
all
great
this shit
turnover.
has happened.
Sorry. That was stupid. Sorry.
No, it wasn't. I want breakfast pastry. I once dated a girl whose lineage, her family was from Denmark, and she just did not appreciate any of my jokes about eating Danish. So I'm attuned to your turnover, and I appreciate it. But I think, Klee and I were talking before the show, and there was a lot of talk this week about whether McCain should be lauded as a hero or if he's a goat. And some people, well, what about Murkowski and Collins? Shouldn't they get props? And I think that Murkowski and Collins really should get props over anybody else, only because they have stuck to their guns. Mm-hmm. They have all throughout the process said, no, these are shitty bills. They are going to fuck with the people who live in our states that elected us to represent their interests. Mm-hmm. And we are not going to vote to take their health care away just to help secure the party's place in American history.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I want to say, I don't know if I want to give McCain the credit of was he playing a long political game or not at the last minute to say that he was going to vote no. I don't know if he had a revelation because of his diagnosis. I don't know if he thought he was going to vote this way the whole time, or if he's on some like, fuck you, I'm out of here, I'm going to do everything opposite day. I'm hoping it's either A or B or a combination, like A or C or a combination of both. Like, I was planning this all along, I'm also on some fuck you, I'm about to die, I don't give a fuck what you think.
Yeah,
Type of a shit. Because like if he's doing that, I'm here for it. I'm about it.
Well, it would be great if he were to become like the Bill Hicks of the Senate. You know, it's like, I'm going to die, and now it's time to like really get shit done. You know,
here comes Bizarro McCain.
I think. Sorry, you go, Liz.
Well, I think it's kind of like, when Darth Vader throws the Emperor, and he's like, he's been being torn apart by good and bad, because McCain has good in him.
Yeah, I agree.
You're really going far with this analogy.
Yeah, he's like being torn apart by like what his party wants him to do, and what when that lady was like, Obama's a Muslim, and he was like, no, everybody calm down. like he has good in him, and when he taps into that, you're like, wow, McCain, and then he breaks your heart, and then he does something shitty. But I feel like he's trying to become the Jedi after being a Sith. Which would make him a mace, because he can go either way.
I think he's less of a mace, more of a pepper spray.
He's a dark Jedi, I think. I don't think he's fully bad. I don't think he's fully good. But I don't think he's completely self-interested either. Like, he's not that type of a person. I think like Liz said, he's torn. I think he's tortured. He's like one of your...
Well, he has been tortured.
Tortured. Tortured is tortured, but gets torture.
I think a flip side to this sort of celebrating that's going on is that I honestly think he sort of saved the Republican Party. He
might have
by doing this, because
I think he planted the seeds. What they do with them.
He's got a one-handed grasp on the last person to go over the cliff, and is he going to be able to hold on and pull them all up? I don't know.
When John McCain, puts his
sweaty
hands
slope
at nipple level and says, "I've had it up to here," that's as far as it can go with him.
Yeah,
that's not funny. I mean, it is actually.
Yeah, it is.
That's making fun of his torture. That's all.
And also, I noticed on Twitter all these Republican goons kind of came out of the woodwork and were mocking his. Just saying that he was like an informer during his time as a POW,
which is like the opposite of what happened.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he could have left, and he's like, "Nah, I'm staying until everybody goes."
Exactly.
We don't work till
like,
Katie walks.
I feel like that is so Trump influenced.
Yeah.
Like, once Trump opened the door and was like, "Oh yeah, we can mock POWs. That's on the table." Then anything goes.
We under Trump, we mock POWs as it's convenient to us. First he wasn't a warrior. Trump likes soldiers who don't get captured. Then, just before the vote, when Trump thought everything was going to go his way, and he really needed to pull his head out of his own ass and John McCain's. Then, John McCain is a war hero. He's a great senator. He's everything a Republican should be. And then the next morning after the votes, he's failed the American people, which is one of those things that I don't understand. And we talk about this on this show frequently, and it's a topic of a lot of political shows where people say that liberals are out of touch with the Trump supporters, and that rather than calling them stupid, we need to understand where they're coming from. And, to a degree, I mean...
Not it.
Well, but here's the thing.
I would never call a Trump supporter stupid.
Oh, I will.
I would.
Hands down. And I mean, all right, Liz, you're from Texas.
Yeah. I was raised by those people. I know exactly how they think.
I lived in Missouri for a long time. Yeah. Well, Josh and Klee, you guys are liberal coastal elites. Liz and I have lived amongst the people.
You ever been to Gun Barrel City, Texas? You go there and then you tell me Trump supporters are smart.
Yeah, I've been to Mexico, Missouri, and
there's a place called Mexico, Missouri.
Oh yeah, Missouri.
But then they're like, no Mexicans.
Well, right. Yeah, and there's also Versailles because they can't pronounce Versailles. Missouri is a veritable Epcot center of international white people. It's as international as that house of pancakes. But the thing is, I try to understand where these people are coming from.